date is April 12, 2012. My name is Paul Robards, Library Director at Roberts Memorial Library at Middle Georgia College. I'll be speaking today with Jimmie Reeze Jr. from Macon, Georgia, about his experiences in the Vietnam War. What branch of the military did you serve in?
United States Army.
Why did you join the military?
I was drafted.
How old were you when you joined?
I was 18.
Where did you receive basic training?
Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Where did you attend advanced training?
Fort Polk, Louisiana.
What was your occupation code?
11B.
11B. Were you discharged or did you retire from the military?
I was discharged with an honorable discharge.
How did you feel when you learned you were going to Vietnam?
When I learned I was going to Vietnam, I was happy. You know, it was, I had heard so much about it. I was excited because of the fact that I wanted to see if what people said was true, but I was afraid but happy.
What dates did you serve in Southeast Asia?
May 12th through November 12th.
Okay. Where did you serve in Southeast Asia?
I-Corps.
Okay. What was your rank during the war?
E3 through E4.
What medals, awards, or citations did you receive?
I received 2 Bronze Stars, an Air Medal, a Combat Infantry Badge, among others.
Describe your first encounter with the enemy.
My first encounter with the enemy. We had been we were supposed to be on a mission looking for a hospital in the jungles that was supposed to be built in the mountain, had about 4 stories. And so we found the trail, and we set up a couple of mechanical ambushes. That's where you take claymore mines and you connect them together with death cord so that they will explode almost simultaneously. And then we set up our night position not too far, I guess about 50 feet away from the claymore mine on the back side of them. And we went to sleep. Well, it was a mechanic ambush because we used batteries. Because the Geneva Convention said you couldn't set up booby traps, so we used batteries, making a mechanic ambush. Just changed the name up. So we slept through the night, and first daylight, we heard this explosion. So you could hear a rat piss on cotton. Nobody moved. Nobody made a sound. And then you start hearing all this moaning and groaning. So you knew that somebody was hurt. And we laid in our position. And the trail was to our left position, flank. So they came, it was a stream bed that they were in. They came up the stream bed to our right flank, and they were within 15 meters of our position, and they came by us. And we were still in our night log position, and they passed by, about 25 of them. We counted them pass by us, but they never did see us. And so when the last one came by and they got out of sight, we went to check out what had happened. And so there were 4 VCs, sympathizers, killed. The first one had both legs broke. It was almost like his feet were laying almost in his chest from the explosion. The second one had some of the steel balls that went through his forehead. Then there was a woman. She died from the concussion. Then there was another woman. The concussion killed her. It split her mouth around almost to her ear. And I was a machine gunner. So, platoon sergeant, I was squad leader, because we traveled in squad sizes, which was about 11 guys. Platoon sergeant, squad leader, told me, said, to go down the screen bed and see if I could locate anybody else. Me and my assistant gunner. And that was my first time running into any contact since after first going to Vietnam. I was so alert that my peripheral vision was so keen that I could look down on the ground and see a butterfly in the top of a tree. And I heard a rock hit the water, and next thing I knew, I had pulled the trigger. But it wasn't anything. And so we searched the area. We didn't find anybody else. So we went back, and the squad leader told me to sit there and guard the bodies. And they went back to the sleeping position to pack up our gear. And my assistant, my ammo bearer, and we stayed there to guard the bodies and make sure that nobody else showed up. I was afraid, and when they packed up everything and came back, I was hungry. And even though I had never seen anybody dead, and here I was sitting beside a woman who was dead with her mouth split around to her ear, I was able to sit there and eat, which surprised me.
What did you think of Vietnam when you first arrived there?
It wasn't what I expected, because everybody told me, I thought I was going to get off the plane dodging bullets. And it didn't happen like that. But it was hot. I found out at 10 o'clock in the morning it was 115 degrees.
Crazy. From your experience, how would you evaluate the enemy's fighting ability?
Crude, but they were dedicated in what they believed in, just as we were. We were dedicated. Surprisingly, it was like you grow up thinking that thou shalt not kill, but after you've been trained, after you get in the military and you get trained to kill, all of a sudden you live to kill. You're looking forward to it. Amazingly enough, you start looking forward to being in combat.
What weapon did you and your unit use the most often with the most efficiency, and what did you use them for?
We used M16s. I carried the M60 because I was chicken. I needed something large so that I could hide behind it. So I wanted the M60. But little did I know that when you carried the M60, that meant that every time you made contact, you had to walk point. So whenever the fighting started, I had to walk first. And at nighttime, when we set up our night position, I had to sleep in the middle of a trail whenever we ran across a trail. You know, and I thought about it. Now, I sleep like a log. And here I am sleeping in the middle of a trail. You know, it's, you got to wake me up for me to hear anything. Well, thank God I survived it.
Describe the things you remember most about combat.
The things I remember most about combat is I lost my emotion. I couldn't cry. I got cold.
Describe your living conditions, housing, and food in Vietnam.
The living conditions were horrible. I mean, when I first got over there, when they gave me my gear, I got me a complete rain suit, pants and jacket. We went out on a mission, and in monsoon season, when it rained 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, I put on my rain suit. The other guys didn't. I didn't understand why. I didn't ask. I just thought they were crazy. You know, I thought maybe they had been over there too long. So I put on my rain suit, trekking through the jungles. When the mission was over, which lasted about 2 weeks, and after the end of 2 weeks, we usually went, they had sent helicopters for us, and we went back into the secure area so that we could get a change of clothes, a shower, and 3 meals a day for 3 days, you know, and rest up. And I was the only one that had heat rash. So I found out why nobody else wore rain suits.
What was your daily routine while in Vietnam?
My daily routine was reading the New Testament and humping through the jungles. That's it.
What did you do to relax?
Read the Bible. Read the Bible and pray to stay alive.
Did you witness a lot of illegal drug use?
Yeah, I did. But you know, that was something that didn't appeal to me because of the fact that I didn't need any distractions, because I felt like that I needed to focus on staying alive, and I couldn't focus on staying alive if I started using drugs. So I was all about staying alive.
What is your evaluation of the stateside American military leadership and the commanders you worked with in the field during the war?
Stateside duty I couldn't handle. Do it in wartime. You don't have rules and regulations. You have rules and regulations, but they are not strenuous, and they're not forced on you as much as they are in the States. You don't have anybody harassing you about, you know, having to do tedious things, you know, about tedious rules and things in the war like you do in the United States, in the stateside. So there's a whole lot of difference in stateside duty and wartime duty.
How did you feel about your experience when you left Vietnam?
When I left Vietnam, I was all messed up. It was like going from nighttime into daytime and like still being asleep.
How did it feel to return to civilian life?
It was bad. It was rough. Still is rough. Because of the fact that, have you ever been really afraid where your heart beats real fast? And can you think about going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year with your heart racing like that, just racing round the clock for a whole year? And you get used to that height. And then all of a sudden, you come here in the United States and you don't know how to relax anymore.
Have your views about the war or your involvement in it changed over the years?
Not really.
Did you ever feel that the American public did not support you as a veteran of the Vietnam War?
Yes, I feel like that we were not supported. You know, I look at TV now, or pick up a newspaper. Now I receive Bronze Stars, and you didn't hear anything about it. And now I look at guys receiving Bronze Stars. They receive one, and they make the newspaper, and they make television.
And they come home.
And when we received them, you didn't hear anything about it.
And you didn't go home either.
Mm-mm.
Do you believe that Vietnam veterans encountered discrimination when they returned home from the war?
Yes, I do, because people were so against the war. I mean, you know, not everybody. And I'm not saying the Vietnam veterans were, you know, like, really discriminated against. But they were. But not by everybody, because of the fact that this white guy, he and I, we came home the same time from Vietnam, and we both lived in Macon. And when we were in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport in Texas, and we were drinking at a bar at the airport. And we went upstairs to a restaurant by the same name as the bar. And these three salesmen saw us eating, and they asked if we were coming home from Vietnam. And we told them, yeah. And they paid for all our food.
Did your service in Vietnam affect your religious beliefs? And if so, how?
Well, that goes back to what I was saying about the thou shalt not kill. It confused me. And even today, it still bothers me with that, the part that says thou shalt not kill, because I still have that killing mentality. You know, I still have that urge to kill. You know, it's kind of hard to get over it once it's been instilled in you. And you can kind of understand why people kill after they kill the first time. You know, it's kind of like having sex. After the first time, you know, then you want to do it again. Well, that's almost like killing. You do it the first time and you want to see it the second time feel as good as the first time.
How has your service most affected your life?
Well, it's affected my life mentally and physically, and I don't know how to express myself. I don't trust people. I don't trust anybody but myself. Can nobody do anything right but me? I don't trust other people with my well-being, my body, my mind.
Do you have other memories or thoughts that you would like to share about your Vietnam War experience?
War is hell. You know, vets are the most understood people. You know, a lot of people, they think that vets, we'll say PTSD. They look at PTSD as a put on, but it's not. It's real. And regardless of how you think, and people that that do not have any knowledge of it, it's hard for them to understand and accept it. And it's hard for you to talk to them about it. You know, I had an incident after I came home from Vietnam. I was dating this young lady, and she was visiting one of her girlfriends one night, and I had told her I wanted to see her, and she told me what time she would be home, and she wasn't there. So I went by her girlfriend's house, and her girlfriend told me, said, asked her, well, who is it? And I told her who I was. And she said, well, what do you want? And about that time, a bad feeling came over me. You know, I said, well, I want to talk to my girlfriend. She said, well, you're not going to talk to her here. So, you know, I'm wondering why. Why can't I? You know, I just talked to you a little while ago. You know, so what's wrong with me talking to her here? You know, I haven't done anything wrong. All I want to do, because see, all I came to do is give her a birthday present. You know, this is in my mind. So why can't I talk to her for a minute? So she said, if you knock on my door again, I'm going to shoot. So I asked her, did she have a gun? She said, no. I said, well, go get it. And I gave her a few minutes, and then I knocked, and I heard this gunshot. The next thing I knew, I was inside the house. And when I said that to say that I was trained to kill, when I heard the gunshot, Jimmie Reeze stepped aside. And PFC Jimmie Reeze took over. And instead of running, I charged. You know, and you know, I went back. The Vietnam side of me came out. And I didn't think anybody could bring out that side of me. And it frightened me so bad that I quit that girl that same night. I never did go back. I never did get back involved with her anymore after that night because of the fact that she brought out the beast in me. And I didn't want anybody to ever see that side of me because I spent so much time trying to conceal the side of me that Uncle Sam had instilled in me.
Brother, thank you for your service, and thank you for taking part in this interview.
Thank you.